Hey, what's going on, Boomers and Zoomers? Welcome back to another Jump Force Avatar tutorial. Today we're going to be creating Ogre Tatsumi, the main protagonist and one of my favourite characters from the anime series Beelzebub. We're firstly going to go through how to customise an outfit for this character, as well as showing the moveset that I used and some alternate moveset options. Without further ado, let's get into it. This is the version of Ogre we're going to be creating. Whilst arguably not as iconic as his school uniform wear, this casual outfit is much easier to accurately recreate in Jump Force, so that's why I've gone with this. So why would I want to create Ogre Tatsumi? Well, I recently watched through Beelzebub and enjoyed its world and especially its characters, with Ogre being one of my favourites. Ogre is also a character I would have loved to see in Jump Force to begin with, but unfortunately he isn't here, so here we are. Moveset wise, he's not a particularly challenging character to recreate, with many of his attacks being simple physical strikes, but there is some room to create something a little bit more unique. This is what the finished Ogre will look like, so continue watching if you want to find out how to make him. Create a male character and use the Type B fighting style. I know I use this style a lot, but I think it's just the best default fighting style for many characters, and it suits Ogre's own fighting style. Feel free to use Type A or Type C if you want to, but they don't look as accurate to the source material to me. Anyway, I'm going to show you guys all of the customization options for Ogre, so just watch through and pause the video wherever you need to, and I'll be back later on. See you soon. Clothing Ogre is quite simple. You only need 3 items, 2 of which can be found at the general shop and the other one at the One Piece shop. The red t-shirt found at the general shop is called Miscellaneous 1. The bottoms, I'm not actually sure of the name because so many look so similar to this, but I'm pretty sure they're found at the general shop, whatever they're called, so try and figure that out. And finally the shoes, these are called Leather Shoes number 1, and these are found at the One Piece shop, otherwise called the Team Beta shop. Now let's talk about Ogre's abilities. There are quite a lot of options for abilities you can have on Ogre, however I only really like a select few of them. Ogre is the type of character where no moves are absolutely essential, so you can mix and match what abilities you have depending on what you like. While some of his abilities can be enhanced by the demon mark on him and the royal contract with Baby Beal, most of Ogre's attacks are just punches, so the character will be very focused on close range, which I've got a pretty fun moveset for. As a disclaimer, I will be referencing the anime of Beelzebub, so feel free to just copy the abilities right now and move on to this timestamp. I won't be saying any actual spoilers for the show, but if you don't want to know anything about the events of the show, feel free to skip here. For his first ability, I decided to go with 100 Rendering Fist from Kenshiro's moveset. This is a flurry of close range punches that knocks the opponent away afterwards. The comparison is fairly simple and direct here. Most of the time when Ogre beats somebody in a fight is from nailing them with several fast punches before knocking them away. Alternatively, you could use many other physical punch attacks here, such as Deku's Detroit Smash, Naruto's 6-Path Spar, or Kenshiro's Awakening of the Senses. For his second ability, I've gone with Futai no Kiwami from Rurouni Kenshin's moveset. This is one of the Avatar exclusive abilities. Also, I probably butchered that pronunciation. Anyway, this attack also has a fairly direct reference to the show. This ability does a run forward into a powerful strike, then you have the option of performing another strike to knock the opponent away, which is sort of like his Nadeshiko ability, which he uses to split a rock. In the show, Ogre breaks a rock using this ability called Nadeshiko, and then sneaks in a second attack called Tulip to knock away the debris. Whilst not exactly the same, I thought the comparison was clear here. You can also replace this with any of the physical attacks I previously mentioned. For his third ability, I've given Ogre Raging Strike from Goku's moveset. This is a counter attack. I gave Ogre this counter attack because it doesn't look all too different to a counter he performs in the show when he uses his Super Milk Time ability. It looks quite similar because in the show Ogre launches the opponent into the air when they go to attack him, striking them a few times and then launching them away. For an alternative, you could give Ogre Perfect Barrier from Cell's moveset and attach the lightning element, which is supposed to mimic the AoE electricity of Baby Beal's crying. If you don't want a defensive move here, then I'd recommend Goku's Meteor combination or Vegeta's Spirit Breaker. This is what looks the most similar to the counter without having to have a defensive move. Finally, for his Awaken ability, I've gone with Battle Grief from Kenshiro's moveset. Ogre is another character who would just benefit from a regular physical attack Awaken ability, so that's why I've gone with this. Alternatively, you could give him Delaware Detroit Smash from Deku's moveset. I personally prefer the way the Battle Grief looks on him, however. It could also draw a comparison to his Zebel emblem attack. You could also give him Majin Buu's Awaken ability if you own that DLC, and imagine it as Baby Beal crying again. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed this Avatar tutorial. Once again, I'm having a lot of fun with this series and will continue as planned. Overall, Ogre wasn't too hard to recreate Jump Force. I feel like the outfit and the face looked pretty good, but the hair was definitely the weirdest thing. There were a couple of hairstyles that both looked like Ogres, but had something slightly off about them. But I'm overall very happy with how that turned out. Again, I don't have specific plans for who's next to be created for these tutorials. There are a few characters I'm looking at, but no concrete decisions as of right now, so just keep an eye out for that. By now, I should have uploaded my DLC wishlist, so any of those characters are considerations as well as many more. But that's all from me for today guys. Enjoy this very short Ogre Tatsumi montage and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.
Yeah!